Hello and welcome to Talking Good Game. It just finished. Dinamo Zagreb 0, West Ham United 2. The Hammers off to a flyer in the Europa League. We're here to talk through the match as well as some individual performers at the end. But Gonzo, how are you feeling first of all? It's just gone full time. What are you thinking?
Feeling. I really enjoyed it. I think in terms of feeling about it, I thought it was a really entertaining game. I think it's just one of those games that you can enjoy all the more because you sort of know you're in control and you know you're going to win. And that's, whilst we might have had a little bit of a taste of that in some games in the Premier League in the last little while, it's still quite an alien concept, totally alien, in fact, for West Ham fan in Europe. It was enjoyable. I don't feel in some ways, I looked at it, I thought, it feels like we're the European team, but I still think we had elements of our Premier League style about us, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I'm just absolutely delighted, Gio. It was a really, really enjoyable experience, I've got to say. Absolutely loved it. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, I got excited in the build-up. Just little things, the Europa League music, everything was getting me in the mood. Seeing the players walk out. The most Europa League stadium you can ever find. We were playing in that tonight with a running track bigger than ours. It made me feel good about our running track. I was like, oh, you got a bigger one than us. But I just got excited, and then the game kicked off, and from the start we were on it, and the way the game unfolded as well, even until the full-time whistle, I was happy, I was excited, I'm buzzing. It didn't have much drama. There was no sort of close call kind of thing. I would go as far as saying it was relatively easy to some extent. But I'm absolutely buzzing at that full-time whistle. We've just witnessed West Ham win away in the Europa League to what is possibly our hardest fixture of the group stage. And Mark Noble got to play in it too. I was almost proud to see Mark Noble come onto the fold. I know the game was done, but this is a boy that's, he's been with us since a boy, lifelong West Ham fan, a lifelong West Ham family as well. He's seen all sorts at West Ham, just like ourselves. He's seen crap at West Ham. He's played under crap. He's played with crap. And tonight, he's there in Croatia, 2,000 West Ham fans in the away end, playing in the Europa League. I was proud to see Mark Noble play, and I'm glad he got to play a part of it as well. But anyway, let's talk about the game itself, Gonzo. Before we made it 1-0, what do you make of our start?
Thought we were in control. I thought but we were really careful when we pressed, but when we did press, we did so all at the same time, which really confined their space. And it meant actually once they got up into the midfield area, when we put pressure on them to make a fast pass, they were going to have to do it with their first pass. It was going to have to be accurate. And we were so quick into the press that actually it meant their first touch was going to have to be perfect. Well, of course, it's never going to be, not for anyone, unless you're playing the very, very best teams in the world, then they're going to struggle with that. So because of that, I thought there were a lot of marginal things going on. So we were moving the ball quite quickly. So there'd be tackles for both teams. And I thought the referee, the amount he was letting go was really quite fantastic. And I say that with regard to both teams. There were some that went for us and there were some that went against us. But I thought there was some that went for them and some that went against them. And certainly in that early moment, there was a point where Antonio rolled his defender really well and then went down. And another point where Vlasic did it as well. And I looked and I thought, well, hold on. The referee set his stall out in the first 10 minutes. He's not going to give those, so don't bother. He won't. And, he's not going to have one of those. If you can physically stand up and you can keep going, then he ain't going to give a foul. So I found that quite refreshing. I've got to say, it felt like the Euros in that sense. So it allowed the game to flow. And if that game was allowed to flow, then the better team was going to be able to get some momentum. And by this point, Gio, even before the goal, there was a point where the stats flashed up and we had 70% possession. So I thought it was very, very impressive.
Yeah, I thought we were fantastic from the off. A couple of corners in the first 5 minutes. We came out and we sort of sent a message to everybody, people at home watching, the away fans, the home fans, and Zagreb. We're here to win this game. We're here to take the game to you. We're going to impose ourselves. We're going to control the game. I thought we'd done just that from the start. I thought we dictated the tempo, the style, everything. And whenever they got a sniff of the ball, we won it back quickly. I thought we were pressing high. The tactics were spot on from the first minute from West Ham and from David Moyes. One of Fredericks' best abilities or characters, if you like, is his pace. We were utilising that fantastically well. I thought we were just brilliant in that first 25 minutes. And we got our first goal. in Europa League, it was always going to be Mikel Antonio, isn't it? Whenever there's a history to be made, it's Mikel Antonio. He made a history a couple of weeks ago, becoming our all-time Premier League goal scorer. He made history again tonight, our first ever goal scorer in the Europa League. A short back pass, but I think it's too easy to sort of slag off the defender. The defender's made an error. Of course he has. There's no doubt about it. The defender has done that. There's a bit of luck in here for West Ham. But I think you've got to give a massive credit to Antonio's anticipation and then his composure.
And Lanzini for the press, which made this was something we were doing in the middle of the park. The press was very obvious. You know, they knew we were going to get them. Again, when their defenders had it, we'd almost stand off and then go again. So it forced him. So I think Lanzini's going backwards at the point where Catherine got the ball.
Theo Catherine.
That's the one. When he got the ball, I think he felt that Lanzini was backing off. But as soon as it looked like he was going to get the ball, Lanzini went, "No, I'm not. I'm going to run towards you. I'm going to press you." And I think he got startled. And at that point, he then played this lazy ball. But the anticipation, that's the word I'm looking for. The anticipation from Antonio was absolutely fantastic. And not just the anticipation, then the execution, because it was the nudge past the goalkeeper. At that point, was I the only person that was nervous at this point? I'm sure I wasn't. Can he miss this? I'm thinking, oh, yes, he can. Oh, yes, he can. But he didn't. And actually, a fully deserved, Geo. Fully deserved. And at that, funny you say that. At that point, I thought the dynamic of the game was about to change. So I thought, well, hold on, they can't do what they've been doing so far, because I hadn't thought that they had really showed any tactical intent or any physical intent to try and win this game. There didn't seem to be an awful lot of drive from them at all. I thought, oh, they're going to have to change now. They have to change what they're doing. Actually, they didn't for the remainder of the half, which I found quite strange.
1-0 West Ham at half-time. Fredericks had the best opportunity of the half, bar Antonio's, which was a good save by the goalkeeper. Zagreb had 5 minutes of possession towards the end of the half. But what were you thinking at half-time then? Because I was very, very impressed with what I saw Gonzo. I thought we were in control. Like I said, 5 minutes towards the end from Zagreb. I thought, okay, now they're getting back into it a little bit. I thought we even managed that perfectly. We sat back and thought, you know what, you can have the ball for 5 minutes. We'll have a breather. We'll work hard off the ball. And if we nick it, we're going to counter-attack you. We never got to do the pinching part of it, but I thought that we defended quite well. We restricted them to shots from outside the box. And whenever they did go to pull the trigger, our defence and midfield were getting in the way of it. I thought we were tracking back really well. And the only slight thing in the first half, you've already mentioned it, which is I thought our players were going down a little bit too easily. Vlasic, Antonio, and Lanzini in particular, I thought they were a little nudge. They were going down, referee saying, get up. Never really caused any harm as such, but it was a little naivety, a little inexperience in European football, if you like. But I thought we cut that out in the second half. But first half, 10 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned. Tactics executed perfectly, and there was only 1 team in it, and I thought we made it look easy.
It seemed easy, and that's to answer your question. What was I thinking at half time? I was thinking, yeah, looking forward to the second half. This is really good, and I'll pick the middle of the pitch out just because. I mean, it was nice to see Zuma there. Don't get me wrong, and there was a very good tackle from him right near the end of the half. I thought a demoralising tackle for the attacker actually, because not only did Zuma win the tackle, there was no second ball. He won the tackle and kept the ball and then came out with it. I thought Diop had played well as well. He made one mistake, but Fredericks had covered it, and it wasn't a problem. Obviously, Antonio had scored, but there wasn't. To take the defence and the attack out of it, actually in the middle of the park, I thought Souček and Declan Rice and Lanzini had just controlled the game. They looked complete. They looked just so much better than the others, and doing it individually in their own style as well. And so I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried at all, because I thought collectively those three just had a massive handle on the game, and you just knew if they were going to carry on playing like that, then you felt something else at that point, because these are the guys that were still on the pitch at that point, and something was going to happen for Vlasic or for Antonio or somebody else.
And just before we talk about the second half, and perhaps the biggest talking point of the game, as well as a solo effort from Declan Rice, just want to point in the direction of our Patreon offering. If you would like to support Hammers Chat, you can do from £3.60 per month. The link is in the description, or go to patreon.com/Hammers Chat. Straight after this review, myself and Gonzo will be recording the player ratings from this evening, where we go a little bit more in depth, giving them a mark out of 10, standard, I know, as well as David Moyes, and discussing the finer points of those individual performances, as well as lots more, including discount on our online store. Patreon.com/Hammers Chat, £3.60 per month. It makes a massive difference to us doing this as our full-time jobs. Now, Gonzo, second half, talking point, just before we scored, Manuel Lanzini goes in, referee says not a free kick, he plays on. We've seen the replays. When it first happened, I thought he's off. He's gone. When I watched the replay, I thought he's lucky not to be off. Should have gone, in my opinion. What did you make of it?
Well, it was a foul, but he shouldn't have gone because the first one wasn't. That was no way. That was a card. Actually, going back on that, what I found odd, the first one was, again, this. I wonder what was going on in the first half of them, because the guy wasn't injured. Actually, he had kicked Lanzini. I thought, why are you wasting time? This is to our advantage. So I think they got a bit confused. They're not the first time, the last time we'll see a team do that. As he was driving through, he'd been in London today, so he watched the game on the way home, and he's, as soon as he slid in there, Lanzini said Moyes will be wanting to get him off now straight away, because whilst I did think one of them was a yellow card and the other one wasn't, the referee got it the wrong way round. He was still looking like he was sliding in, so it was definitely time for him to come off.
Yeah, I don't think the first one was a yellow card, but irrespective of that, I think it becomes irrelevant when if you're on a yellow card, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing for the second one. You should not be sliding in like that. And what had been such like a faultless performance, it was almost put in jeopardy by rash or stupidity, whatever you want to call it. But there's no excuse for Lanzini. He's coming from behind the player, his side slash behind, whatever you want to call it. It's an awkward angle, and I think he's very lucky not get sent off. Moyes obviously agrees, hence off straight away kind of thing. And I think that's the right thing to do. I just thought it was a very silly thing from Lanzini. But in the interest of balance and fairness doing this review, I do think we should have been down to 10 men with that tackle. Like I said, yellow card, first one, no. Doesn't really matter though. You're on the booking from now on. Act like it. Play the game as if you're on a yellow card. And I don't think he did. I thought it was a bit rash.
But Fornell shouldn't have put him in that position, by the way. It was terrible play from Fornell's.
Yes. Right. So after that foul, but before Lanzini did get substituted, we scored a goal. Declan Rice, another interception. He just nicks in just before the halfway line, runs past each player, just brushes him off of it. He's not there. Gets into the box, has a look up. He's got Antonio there surrounded by three players, thinks I'm going to have to do it myself. And he does. And it's not the first time we saw him go on a run like that and just think, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself.
No, I know. And by the way, how bad was that bloody goalkeeper today? But but what a tremendous interception as well. And it was going to be a feature of the game. Wasn't the only time he did it. Clearly wasn't the only time that West Ham did it. Never mind just Declan Rice. Clever as well and strong, and he got past the guy, and then he got half of his body or his shoulder in front of him. So actually, at that point, you're going to have to foul him, and if you foul him, you are giving the referee a decision to make because he's through on goal. I think actually we all knew, all us West Ham fans knew, because we've seen it from him, that he was going to have a shot as well. You're just thinking, it's on his left peg. He's unlikely to score, to be honest with you. And the keeper could have done a lot better, but the keeper could have done a lot better all game. But again, it was thoroughly deserved. We definitely deserved to win that game 2-0. But I thought just for drive, just for determination, for the skill of the interception, for the reading of the game, and just the way we know Declan can do this. He just grabs the game sometimes by the scruff of the neck and say, here we go, let's have a little bit of this. A true leader. He's an experienced international player now. Of course, he's played in finals and things like that. So he's not a novice to European football at all. But it would have been nice for him on his European debut to get a goal, definitely.
Yeah, anyway, not much happened for West Ham after that goal, really. It was relatively keep it safe, keep it comfortable, and get the job done. So it finished 2-0 West Ham. Both teams rang the changes out during the second half, making most of the substitutions. Full time, what do you make of the game overall, Gonzo?
I think just a thoroughly enjoyable experience, Geo. And I look at some of the performances from the players. You almost couldn't have picked. I don't mean a better game, because I don't want to be disrespectful to the opposition. I'm not saying if we could have cherry pricked this opposition and this had been the game. I don't mean that. But you couldn't have chosen almost a better game environment, set of circumstances, if you want, to ease some of these players in, like Zuma, like Vlasic, some of these guys to then be able to get Masuaku 10 minutes on the pitch and all this sort of stuff that was going on. And to get Antonio off, to be in such a luxurious position. We spoke about this in the build-up, in the preview. What's Moyes going to do if the game's comfortable? Well, we saw, let's get Lanzini off. Let's bring Benrahma on. And a lot of the guys who are going to feature at the weekends, he was able to manage them through the game. And they won't have done enough to be absolutely knackered. And maybe some that played all the game, like Souček, maybe he won't train for a couple of days. Maybe he'll get an additional day off. You don't know how they're going to. I don't know how they play it with these things with the fitness. But I thought actually, as an exercise of seeing these things done poorly, which we have done before with other clubs, and we've mentioned numerous times already this week, actually as an exercise of starting off the Premier League and doing well, and then getting in and going flying away to Europe, getting your 3 points coming out, and then when you go back and look at the group, I thought it was really quite magnificent. And, I'm really proud of it. And I'm so pleased to see the fans there as well. Every time the camera pans to the fans, I've got to say fair play to the Zagreb fans, actually, because I've never felt they were really in the game. But they carried on making noise all throughout, which even when I'm 1-0 down, they're making a bit of noise as well. And, so thoroughly enjoyed the experience, mate. And I love this. There's such... If anybody asks me, and anyone's at a different club, and there's something very, very different to this, to the, like the pre-qualifying and all that sort of stuff. There's something about the group stage. It's lovely because you've got the rest of the games to look forward to. So loved it, mate. Loved it.
I thought we were very comfortable tonight. If you look up professional performance as a definition of football, you want an example, just watch West Ham tonight. I thought we'd done exactly that. I thought from start to finish, we were in control. We dictated the tempo. They had a 5-minute spell in the first half. And, the first 10 minutes, I thought Zagreb looked quite good in the second half, actually. I thought they came out with their tails up and came at us. And, again, we restricted them to long shots. And that's all you can really do as a defence. As a defence, all you can do is be organised and force them to shoot from 25 yards and stuff. That's as much as you can do. And that's all we gave them. The players put themselves in the way of it. There was that one opportunity that just went past Fabianski's post. But generally, I thought we defended really well. We defended as a team. Vlasic is the only... Well, Zuma started as well, but Vlasic, I don't think had a great game. We'll talk about individual performers in a minute. But whenever he lost the ball, he was bursting his arse to get back. And that's what you want to see. I think that's probably more important to Moyes initially. When he puts a player in, I think his priority is, will you work hard for the team? Vlasic done that. So while our poorest performer wasn't great on the ball, out of possession, he did his job perfectly. Worked hard, got in, dug in, did the nitty-gritty stuff. Thought Moyes got his tactics bang on. It was just the perfect performance by West Ham tonight. And if we made it look easy, and it wouldn't have been easy, there were some players out there where West Ham would come out thinking, bloody hell, that was tough for whatever reason. But they've not made it look like that. They've made it look simple because everything was done to perfection. The team performance, the tactics, because all that was done, it gave the view that it was a straightforward performance from us, and it just gives you even more hope. When we did our preview and the build-up show tonight, we said it's hard to be confident because you don't know the opposition. Actually, for the next fixture, you can be confident because you've just seen what West Ham do in European football. We've now got evidence for the first time, and it's bloody good evidence, and it's bloody enjoyable evidence as well. We've just played a Europa League game tonight and strolled through it. It was fantastic from West Ham from start to finish. It was fantastic. Individual performers, just pick 2 or 3. Take your pick.
Well, I thought Fredericks, I give Fredericks a lot of stick. Well, not stick, but and I still think he has fundamental flaws in his ability to control the football sometimes. But his athleticism, I think, is sensational. He's able to get himself in really good positions, and I thought his defending was really good today. I thought he had a good game, Gio. I got to say, I talk about technique. I'm talking about ball control and passing, but there are other techniques. Tackling is a technique, and I thought the timing of his tackle was very, very good. As I say, we all watched it together in there. My son asked during the game. He said, "Do you think Fredericks is the fastest player in the Premier League?" So that gave us an indication of quite how impressive he was. He really is an impressive athletic specimen in that sense. I thought the midfield three, as I've already covered, and I classed Lanzini in that because I thought Benrahma was not Benrahma, Fornals was wide. I liked what I saw with those three, and it's really nice to know that we've seen what we've seen from Lanzini last season. To see that again, I suspected in this game he might be able to. He's always got so much time on the ball, Lanzini. I thought it was really lovely to see. And I thought Souček was dominating physically. And then Rice was reading the game. And then between them, they just dictated what was going on, which was absolutely marvellous. And a word for Antonio as well, actually, because he does get better, which is strange at his age, but he is learning a position. And he's becoming less reckless. He's not chasing every lost cause. There's times when I would watch him last season, Gio, and maybe even the season before, where you'd see him running for a lost clause, a hopeless thing he was never going to get, and sprinting full pelt. And you think, mate, you're going to do your hamstring here. And I think he'd cut it out. And now he's bringing nuance, he's bringing subtlety to his game. And there was a point where he actually just stood there and stepped over the ball and allowed it to run between his legs. He dummied it so as the ball would run through. I think it was for Vlasic to follow on. That shows game awareness. He was looking that way. Vlasic was behind him there. He stepped to dummies and the ball went past him. Oh, hold on. We're seeing some real football nous here by doing it. I thought it was wonderful to see it. I could go on and on, but there's a handful of players.
Yeah, just echo what you said on Friday, because I don't want to not acknowledge him, but I'm only going to repeat what you said. The defensive partnership for me, Zuma and Diop, thought they were fantastic together and individually. I thought every time Zuma had the ball in possession, he was looking to move it forward. He was trying to get the ball played out from defence. And I'm a bit biased because I am a bit of a Zuma fanboy kind of thing, but I thought he was brilliant tonight. That tackle, like you say, didn't have loads to do, but whenever they did sort of challenge our box a little bit with crosses, all that, I thought them two in particular were fantastic. It was clearing everything away. They were very composed on the ball as well. And it just gives you confidence that you can literally build from the back. I thought Aaron Creswell was fantastic tonight. Possibly the best piece of defending came from him. It was like a 3-on-3 attack, and the guy lined up to him, said, "Come on, then, let's do it." You could see Creswell going, "Come on." Then he done his step over, went to his right foot, and Creswell just shuffled him again, and just moved in front of him, got the goal kick. And you could see Zuma, Fabianski with their hands above their head, applauding him, say that was just fantastic defending. I thought Creswell was really good. I thought his deliveries were all right tonight, actually, and we come close to sort of getting on the end of some of his corners. Unsure of this corner thing with Creswell and Fornals standing on it. I don't like that. I'm aware of what it's for, so you don't know who's crossing it. But it doesn't really work when Creswell then takes every single one out.
But you do know, yes. Yeah.
It doesn't really work. And I just think you're sometimes taking a player away. I appreciate the defending team has to put a player over there, so you're dragging a player out the box. Unsure on him. Yet to be convinced that tactic's going to work. Just like the Declan Rice hitting it from 40 yards at a free kick, lay it off and I'll shoot. Unconvinced by that tactics. I'll save my man in match, but Antonio as well, for similar but different reasons to you. The goal, he demanded the number 9 shirt in the summer. He got it, and he's been playing like a number 9 all season. I thought tonight he was brilliant. I thought he was crap against Southampton, and the red card was stupid. But he would have put himself in Moyes' bad books a little bit. Moyes would have thought, "What have you done here, you silly boy?" And he probably wouldn't have played tonight had he not got the red card. He needed to impress his manager, because Antonio almost plays through default. Between now and January, Antonio's going to have to play, regardless of how well he plays the week before. He's going to have to play the next game because we don't have an alternative. But it doesn't mean he doesn't have to convince David Moyes. It'd almost be easy for Antonio to get lazy in our starting 11 due to lack of competition. Tonight, I thought he was brilliant, Antonio. We talk about interception and stuff. He did it in the second half. He took nick the ball off that big baldy guy, and he had to trip him up and get a yellow card for it. Oh, brilliant! That's all you want. That is what you want. Just read the game, read it well. I thought he'd done good up front. But yeah, you could continue to talk about all 11 players. Well, we will in a minute. But fantastic. But can I get your final words followed by your man of match? Quite a few to choose. Well, there's two. I think there's a 50-50. But can I get your man of match, please?
The final words. I'm thrilled for everybody. You said Mark Noble. Thrilled for him. Thrilled for Antonio to look. He's gone and played for Jamaica for reasons we've already discussed. He wants to play international football. Clearly, he wants to do something on more than just a Premier League stage. Thrilled for him to get a goal in Europe. That's great. He's already a Premier League striker. Now he's a European striker. I'm absolutely delighted for him. Delighted for Diop and Lanzini, actually, because I think they've got a role to play for us this season. And so it was great to see them both come in and play really, really well. I think more than anything else, I'm delighted. I mean, really chuffed and sort of a bit proud of him, really, of David Moyes. And I would hope, I don't know what type of character he is. Maybe he's too humble a man to be proud of himself, but I hope he is, because I think actually the job he's done at West Ham is quite wonderful. I think his reputation got a hell of a knock-in out in Spain at Man United and at Sunderland as well. And I think, you know what, mate, well done. You've taken a team, a relegation team, turned them into a European team through the course of a Premier League season. And actually, none of this, there was let's say a stigma to David Moyes. There'd been a time you might have looked at David Moyes like Sam Allardyce or like Tony Pulis or someone like that. But actually, taken a team into Europe. We've got into the group stage, and actually we've looked like the footballing team today. We didn't just grind it or battle or all the rest of it. We look like a proper footballing team. And everybody, not just Moyes, the whole lot, can come back with their head on that plane, with their head held high, and say, "Hey, you know what I mean? This is what it's all about." I bet that's why a lot of them get into football. And fair play to all of them. Man of the match today is going to be Declan Rice, because just thought he was just sensational. Really, I thought. I'm not going to repeat what I said about that midfield three. And any one of them, there was a point in the game where any one of them could have gone on and got man of the match, but obviously Lanzini went off, and then Rice just sort of stepped away and carried on moving away and showed all the facets of his game, which he's got, which is interceptions, it's heading. I said about there being numerous skills in football. Well, Declan Rice seems to have them all, whether it's passing, dribbling, shooting, tackling, heading, running, game management, intelligence. You saw it all today, and what you actually saw was the best player on the pitch. You saw an international player who's just played in an international final, and I almost felt that when he was substituted off, he puffed his chest out, not in a nasty way, but he walked off the pitch proud. But basically, I'm the man. You know, I'm the man around these parts, so he'll be my man of the match.
Yeah, I think tonight we were fantastic. If going into that game, there was one team with plenty of experience of European football and one team with little to no experience of Premier League football. Some individual players, yes, but as a team collectively, not loads. And you'd be forgiven for thinking that Zagreb were the inexperienced team after watching that, actually, because I thought we handled not just the game, but the opponents as well, but also the occasion. It would have been easy to get a bit overly excited with that as a West Ham as a West Ham player, as a West Ham fan, it's easy to get a bit overexcited. And, you know, the footage from yesterday when the boys were at the ground last night, you can see they're buzzing. You can see they are excited. So it's not that they aren't excited, but they kept it controlled. They used it in the right way. And there was no fear or anything that night tonight. The mentality of the players, the attitude of the players were just fantastic from start to finish. But we managed the game superbly. We sped it up when we needed to, but more importantly, possibly, we slowed it down when we needed to, particularly towards the end. There was at one point, Zagreb had a player trying to come on, and they couldn't get him on because West Ham just kept passing the ball about. It ended up with Fernandes having a shot. But we were just pass, little triangles. And once that triangle got closed down, they simply moved the triangle to a different part of the pitch. The players just trusted each other. They trusted the manager's tactics, and Moyes trusted these players out there. That was honestly, genuinely, a weird phrase to use, a beautiful performance from West Ham tonight, actually. There was very little wrong with that and lots to admire. And sometimes it's the boring stuff that you've got to admire, like just passing about. West Ham 5-6 years ago, 2 years ago even, we would have balls that up. We would have got beat out there tonight. There's a possibility we would have got embarrassed out there tonight. We would have done stupid things and stuff. But actually now we've gone out there, we've won convincingly. And I know it's only match day 1, but you've got to make us favourites to win this group now. And then all of a sudden you're in the last 16 of the Europa League. This is not something to take lightly. This is massive progress. But the best thing about it, it's massive progress with foundations. It's not a fluke. It doesn't feel like a fluke. We are there on merit, and actually we might be there next season as well. And we've done it growing organically through a manager. It's something very exciting. My man of the match is Declan Rice as well. Thought he was superb tonight. Do you know we said West Ham made it look easy? Declan Rice made it look pissy. Oh, he was just strolling around that park at one point. It was really good to watch. He was just brushing players off. He dictated the game tonight. Declan Rice looked like a giant playing out there for West Ham. That's not even including his goal, just everything in general. His play in the midfield of the park, he just bossed it. At one point, he went dribbling forward, went past a few players, just turned around and dribbled back and passed to someone. And it was almost like watching. I remember at school. I don't know how you call it, your English school thing. It's like
we call it school. We do call it school.
Essentially, you're a year 14 playing against a year 11 at school. Do you know when the big boys come?
Yeah.
They get the ball, and the little ones chase them about, and the big ones just keep passing. All the little ones just run around after, and they just don't get the ball. That was like watching Declan Rice. Declan Rice looked like the big boy at school, and actually everyone else just ran around after him, but just couldn't get the ball off him. Thought he was sensational. I feel a bit bad. I was hoping you were going to give it to Ryan Fredericks because I thought he deserved possibly man of the match. But
steady on. I might not give him a 1 out of 10 in the player ratings. So
I thought Fredericks was really good.
Yeah,
Fredericks was good, but Gonzo, he was just. Not Gonzo. You didn't play.
I was brilliant.
Right.
I was the best player on the pitch, and I wasn't even on the pitch.
Rice was world class tonight. World class. And Gary Neville and all that says, oh, he needs to get forward more. Just watch tonight. Just watch Declan Rice, please. Anyway, we'll leave it there, my friend.
Yeah, good fun. Go. You know what? Enjoyed the game. Enjoyed the review. You know, we're all buzzing now. All us West Ham fans are all buzzing until the next game, aren't we? Brilliant.
Anyway, if you enjoyed the review, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're around here. A massive thank you to Ironix and So Daddy for popping some pennies in the super chat. We tend not to read them out in the review to keep it flowing, but thank you very much. Massively appreciate the support of the channel. If you wish to continue supporting the channel, patreon.com/hammerchat, links in the description. Come and join us. We're ready to do the player ratings. You can be there for £3.60 per month. Catch you in a bit.